Okay, hello everyone. Come join me by the fire, and I will tell you about our favorite Usborne books. We have been really lucky to get quite a few of them. I've found some of them at garage sales. I've been to quite a few book parties and bought some. I've gotten them on special days when they're on sale. And then I was also really lucky to win a big prize last year where I got quite a few of them for free. So, yeah, these are really great books. They're really thick and good quality. So the pages are thicker, they're stronger books, they're well made, and they make really good gifts. There's not any that we've gotten that we don't like. They are all really great books. But I'm going to start with books that are baby likes and move on up to older kids. So this one, That's Not My Monster. It's part of a series of a bunch of different books. So there's also That's Not My Puppy, Its Coat is Too Hairy, there's a unicorn one, there's like a whole bunch of them. But this one is Brody's favorite. This is one that we actually got at a garage sale, but so because it was at a garage sale, I thought like, oh, they might not be selling it anymore, but I looked online and they do have it, and I really recommend this one. So Brody would never sit to read stories for the longest time. He always would wiggle out of my lap, and Thorn was that way too. He was really active and just would not sit to read stories. But then when we sat down with this one, and we read other baby books and other flap books and other touch and feel books, and he wouldn't even sit through a few pages. He was not interested. But like I said, this is the first book that he sat through, and he was really interested, and he wanted me to read it again. And on numerous occasions, he'll go and find it on the bookshelf. He'll look through them and find this one specifically and bring it to me to read to him. And I even showed him one night like some other baby books, like, do you want this one or do you want these other ones? And he like smiled and grabbed this one with both hands. So he really likes this specific book, but all of the That's Not My ones he's really into. And I think it's because it's not just a touch and feel book, it's also when you kind of phrase it like, oh, try and find the answer, or oh, it's a trick, then they kind of lean in a little more. They're a little more interested to find out what the answer is, or they think, they can tell you're being silly, and that makes it more fun for them. So yeah, basically it's, if we read the first 2 pages, That's Not My Monster, its eyebrows are too hairy. And That's Not My Monster, its spikes are too fuzzy. So it just kind of follows that, and then at the end, they'll go, That's My Monster, its ears are so fluffy. Or, That's My Puppy, you found the dog. So they've got a whole bunch of different ones. But yeah, these are Brody's favorite, and he is 17 months now, but we've had it for a while now, so yeah, he really likes these. The other one that he will actually sit for are these, they're called Little Peek-Through books, and they'll say, are you there, little something? There's more than one of them, so we read the fox one in the fall, and then I also have this reindeer one for winter. But these are really cool. They have cutouts, but they're also cutouts in the pages, but not all the way through. So that gives them something to touch with their fingers. You kind of feel the different shapes and the different kind of textures, and you can follow the lines to try and find the bunny in every picture. But it always has the question, are you there, little fox? And then, oh, that kind of trick kind of thing, like, oh, I can see your nose. Oh, nope, it's just a lazy ladybug. Oh, something else, like, oh, I see your bushy tail. Oh, nope, it's just a squirrel. And so you're trying to find it, and you're really interested, and there's so many things that he can be touching with his hands. And yeah, he just likes poking and touching everything. So if you're looking for books to get babies, I really recommend these. They really like them. And Vian and Thorin like looking through them too. Definitely Thorin and Brody are the most into these. Thorin is 3, almost 4. But yeah, I recommend these for the younger ones. And yeah, Usborne has so many great lift-a-flap, cutout, pop-up kind of books. There's this one on dinosaurs that all the boys really like. And it's cool that the pterodactyls kind of fly out, or there's one, you know, the dinosaurs, they kind of come up from the bushes. There's one where the dinosaurs jump, they run out as you open it. Oh, it's kind of stuck now. There we go. So they come running out, and then the dinosaur roar at the end. But then Brody, whenever he sees this one, he goes blah, 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 like sticks his tongue out. So they think that's funny. So yeah, this is a basic dinosaur book, but it's fun to read the way everything pops up. So pop up dinosaurs. Thorin loves dinosaurs, so he really likes that one. There's also, this one is a counting book that I got back in summer, 1, 2, 3 by the Sea. I really like this. I like how it kind of follows them throughout their day. The kids like looking at it too. Yeah, it kind of goes throughout their day at the beach, so you're kind of learning about seasons and culture, and then counting things as you go along. It's just a really nice day at the beach kind of books. And it has a really nice rhyme too. So big waves tumble onto the shore, splashing, we chase 4. And seagulls fly and seagulls dive, squawking, flocking, we spy 5. So I don't know. I like this. I like the pictures. I like the way it rhymes. Yeah, we like this one. This is a nice one. Okay, this one. This is definitely a favorite that never gets old. It's very creative. Definitely boys would like this one, but probably girls too, because I'll have to read a bit so it makes sense as to why this is cool. This is a really, really good book. We got this for our nephew, actually, because I really like this one for his birthday. It says, today the town of Furryville's a very noisy place, crammed with crowds of creatures getting ready for a race. The air is filled with honking horns and engines revving up as racers take their places for the Silver Serpent Cup. And here's what makes this story interesting, this race. Let's see, I'll skip ahead. On the ground or in the air, floating or submersed, there's just one rule. To win this race, you have to get there first. So there are no rules, and you have all different kinds of vehicles. So they show them racing up above the water, and they're under the water. There's one tunneling through the ground, there's a train, and there's ones flying in the air, and so all the different ones, and the fact that you keep kind of changing the location and all the different types of things, it's very interesting, it's very exciting. And then at the very end, it has a really nice ending. I won't give it away, but they also have these pages that kind of show the different cars, and it has the names of the characters who drive them, so the boys really like looking at this page at the end too. So this one is one of our favorite stories of all time. They really, really like this one, so I recommend this one, Fast and Furry Racers, the Silver Serpent Cup. And these same people also came out with a new one. I can't think of the name. What is it? It's like a Lost Tomb adventure kind of thing. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it right now. But if you look online, I think it's actually on sale right now. So I would check that one out. This one and that adventure one, which I can't think of what it is. But maybe I'll try to find a link or something. But yeah, that one's on sale right now online. And they are very good stories that we have read many, many times that they really like. And we get lots of books from the library and Scholastic, and this is one of our favorite all-time books. So, oh, and then this one. This one is good too. I highly recommend this one. This one is Owl, and it's just a really funny book. I'm going to actually link a separate video of Justin reading it so you can kind of see what's funny about it. But it's very interactive. You know, oh, we're going to tell a story about Owl. Owl, wake up. What are you doing? So you have to try and wake him up. What do they do? Oh, they tell you to tickle Owl's tummy so he'll wake up. Or, you know, turn on the lights. And then tip the page so he can reach the bug. But then, oh no, you tipped it too far. And so the boys, you know, they know what's going to happen, but they laugh every single time. They like this book. So this one's really good. I recommend that one. Another classic one. There's actually a few of these now. nibbles the book monster. This one's kind of cool that there's cutouts throughout the book. So he's kind of, oh no, he escaped from the cage, from the crate. And then there's little places where he chewed through all these different stories. And you can see him in there. And so the holes kind of go through the stories as they're trying to catch the monster. So it's kind of comedic. It's funny, like, oh, he keeps escaping. We've got to go get this book monster. And he ends up eating through the whole book. So this one's really cute and clever and funny. Yeah, these are fun. And for our dinosaur guy, there's also a dinosaur version. So this is your basic dinosaur book, the basic information about dinosaurs, but told in a really funny way. While the book monster is chewing through the book, the dinosaurs are mad at him. And they're trying to catch him. And, oh, they got him behind the rocks, but then there's a hole and he escaped. And so now he's making the dinosaurs mad. He chewed through his tail. And so if you're looking for a dinosaur book to get someone, this one's really funny. Yeah, holds their attention, keeps them laughing, tells you about dinosaurs. So yeah, that one's pretty fun. Oh, and then speaking of dinosaurs, I have a box full of books here. There's also these magic painting books. These you just need water and the ink is in the black part. And so you'll want to color one thing at a time so it doesn't spread. But yeah, basically just water and a paintbrush, and then you can do these very detailed pictures. We'll usually just tear out one at a time. And so, yeah, if you're looking for a great on-the-road kind of thing, if you can get one of those Melissa and Doug water ones where the water's kind of in the pen, that would be useful. Or maybe a small cup of water if they're older and you trust them. But yeah, these are really nice. Travel kind of books, or like if they're bored and you need them to sit down for a little bit, you can tear out a page and have them do one of these. But yeah, these are really neat. I like those. Let's see. Oh, I think Laura's going to talk about these too, but the Shine a Light books are really neat. And our favorite one, Vian keeps taking it out of my box and walking off with it when I was going to show you, so now I can't find where he put it. But there's one about the human body that I really like. Yeah, not surprisingly with the human body, you can't see what's inside of it, and so it goes through talking about the different systems, and then you kind of shine a light through the page and it shows different things. So it shows a mother who's pregnant, you see her big belly, but then you can shine a light behind the page and you can see what it would look like for a baby to be inside there. Or you can see the digestive system, eating food, you know, what does it look like when food is going down. And yeah, that one's really neat. If you're looking for a book to tell you about the body, basics on the different systems, that one's one of our favorite Shine a Light books. But there's this one too. This one's really perfect for right now and would be great for Christmas too. But The Secrets of Winter. So right now, well, especially right now today with all the snow, but as everything gets covered up with snow, it's easy to wonder what's underneath the snow. You hear there's animals, but you can't see them. And so I have a flashlight. It doesn't come with a flashlight. We usually use our phone. But you basically have the pages, and then when you shine a light behind it, let's see if I can do this, the picture shows through. So what's underneath the leaves, you can start to see it. I have a window behind me, so that makes it harder. Actually might help too. But it's kind of hard to show on the screen, but the picture will show through. That's the picture. You'll see it. You can see it clearly when you flip the page. But yeah, let me think of another example here. Okay, so like for example, you see squirrels running into the tree and you wonder, what does it look like? Now I'm using the light of the window. So you shine your light behind the page and then you can look inside the tree and see what the squirrel would look like inside that nest. So they're very cool in getting them really interested in asking those questions, like what is there, and wanting to find out the answer. So that's what's really cool about the body one. But this one too, there's different ones, like a seaside one. On the Farm, a lot of people really like too. I like this one too. So you'll see like a grain silo, and I wonder what's in there. What does it look like in there? They'll kind of start off with that question. You'll read that question, and then you can shine your light and look inside. And I'll let the kids hold our cell phone flashlight and move it around behind the page. But this winter one too, this is one of our favorites. Especially as we get into this season and wondering like what's underneath the snow. There's one too, like what's underneath the lake, and then it shows the fish swimming underneath it. So this one's really cool. So yeah, the shine a light ones, if they have a specific interest, those are really neat. Oh, okay, I've already been talking about a few of these with some people, but these are my personal favorite Usborne books, are the fairy tale books. They are very cool. This one is Snow White. And what's really beautiful about it, the art is nice, but then also just all the really intricate cutouts. And these are pretty solid, thick books. These are going to last a long time. But I like this where there's the mirror of who is the fairest of them all. And then you see there's just some really fine cutouts. You turn the page, now Snow White is the fairest. And so it's just really clever the way they use the cutouts where they're going into the forest and then they come to a house and then the house opens up. Now you can see inside the house. Or, like for example, here the evil queen is trying to get her to buy an apple, so you see, she sees her through the window. And then you turn that part of the house. Now you can see it from the other angle, from outside. So yeah, they're really neat. I like how they kind of do a little bit of the old school style of the stories. A little bit more true to the original. Still not as violent as some of the Grimm's tales. They also make it a little modern. If you think about it, if you really think about it, I like the classic stories where the guy comes and kisses her and he wakes up and it's all really nice. But if you put it in a real world setting, and a stranger sees a girl sleeping and then he kisses her, that's kind of crossing the line. It's a little creepy. So with this one, she eats the poison apple and then he lifts her up and the piece of the apple just falls out of her mouth and she comes back to. And then he says, let's go talk to your father. And, you know, so he's a very nice gentleman. This is a better example of what someone should do when you find someone unconscious. So, yeah, so I like the way they tell these, and the details are more accurate to the original, but they also modernize it to make it a little better, so less creepy. So yeah, I like how they tell the stories. Not too long, not too short, perfect amount. Here's Jack and the Beanstalk. Inside their house, and then he sees out the window that the beanstalk grew. And yeah, all these just really intricate details. I really like, yeah, so you open the door to go inside, and it just really pulls you into the story. So it's really cool. There's the cage. You can open up the cage, and so yeah, I think they're really cool. Little Red Riding Hood too. I think this was the first Usborne book actually that I ever saw, and I thought it was really, really cool. And I have all boys, but I was like, oh, classic fairy tales, I'll just get it anyway. And they really like them, even though, you know, Little Red Riding Hood, I thought maybe that's more girly, or, you know, girl heroine with like a princess kind of thing. But they're good classic stories, and all of my boys really like them, and they like the flaps and everything. So yeah, really cool. There's a house, getting into the house, and then you can check inside the wolf and see if they're okay. And yeah, so I really like those fairy tale books. They're really cool. Speaking of fairy tales, I really like these 10-minute story books too. It has more really good classic stories. It has really nice art. It's just the perfect amount of words where it tells a lot to the story without getting too lengthy. It's for a little bit older kids, but Thorn's active and he can still sit through one of these. But there are a lot of pictures on each page. And yeah, they tell the stories in a good way. Like just the right amount of details, well worded, nice pictures. The pictures are different for each story too in how they're drawn, so that makes it interesting too. But like, for example, when we always read books every night before bed, and then when we go on a trip we do that too to kind of help them fall asleep. So we'll bring just one of these books, and then we've got a whole bunch of stories all in this one book without having to bring a bunch of different books. So I like these. Oh no! Ah. My books shook the chair I'm propping this up on. All right, okay. I say I'm at 20 minutes. Sorry, I'll try to go faster. Okay, the Look Inside books. Thorin really likes this one. We've been on a few trips in a plane now. And also it's just great. Any of the Look Inside ones, any kind of topic you're curious about. It's interesting to see, you know, what happens at an airport, what happens to the luggage. You know, maybe you drive by an airport and you wonder what does it look like inside, and then you can open up this whole wall and it talks about, you know, as if you were standing there, what would you be explaining to your kid? These people are arriving, these people are getting tickets, these people are doing this. So it's the way it's written, it's the kind of questions my kids would be asking anyway, and explaining them the way I would be explaining anyway. So yeah, they're really interesting, and they go into even more details. You know, the planes outside, they talk about how they're getting them ready and washing them, everything folding out, the gangway, you can see, you know, sometimes you'll be looking out the window at the airport, you'll see these things come out, and this is what it looks like. Remember walking through those, and we'll talk about that. So, yeah, and the airplane one takes off into the sky at the end. So, yeah, this one's a really good one. Any of these, if it gives you a lot of information without being dry and too much. So, I really like that one. Another favorite one, we really like going outside and bugs and nature and animals and things like that, and this one is really great for learning about all different kinds of bugs. And you can take just one page at a time since it has lots of information. And lift the flaps. And then, or you could, Thorin just reads through this on his own. He really likes these. So again, it has those kind of questions about like, what's hiding under these stones and leaves? And, you know, what's inside there, or why are they doing that? And asks those kind of natural questions with interesting facts and different things. So yeah, Thorin, this is one of Thorin's favorites for sure. Vian really likes the body and says he wants to be a doctor. So he likes the body type books. And same kind of thing. Lift the flap and you can see what's inside. But this is neat that there's even multiple flaps where here's the skin. Underneath your skin you have muscles. Underneath those bones, underneath those muscles you have bones. You know, behind your rib cage you have your organs, like your heart and your lungs, and so it continues to open up like, okay, you take this, and then you see this, and then you see this layer, and then it has information on each little flap about what you see and what's going on. Goes through your digestive system. So there's the Shine a Light Look Inside one. That one's more basic, shorter information, good for younger kids. This one I'd say is good for younger kids too, but it has a lot more information. So if you're wanting to get in even deeper, or if you have a little bit older kids, this one's a really good look inside the body kind of thing to talk about how the body works, the different systems. I really liked that it talked about the brain and your senses and different things like that. That's good information for us to talk to, since one of our children has some sensory processing challenges, and so we can kind of talk about that along with how the brain works and how his brain works. And let's see. Oh, they have these really good math books that are very simple and cute, and once they know the numbers, they can kind of just self-teach themselves this, although we will read through it together too. But you've got, you know, starting off with basic things like the numbers. You lift the flap and there's 3 eggs behind that one and 5 eggs behind that one. But then there's, this one's addition. I think it's all addition. There might be, oh, there's subtraction too. But yeah, you'll see, well, even like on the first page, so you've got 7 leaves and then 3 fly away, and then you've got 4 left. And so it has different questions too, like if I have this number of flowers and I take this many away, how many are left? Or if I want to get this number, what do I need to do? And then the answer is always revealed as you lift the flap, what the numbers are. So this is really kind of an interesting way, a simple way to kind of start to think about math. Yeah, and the boys just like flipping through this on their own, kind of learning it in a very natural way. Then there's some really cool books like The Story of Inventions. And we'll take just 1 or 2 pages of these at a time. But it has really interesting stories about how different inventions came about. Like Judson's first clap locker, the zipper. He had a friend who had troubles with his back and tying his boots, and so he found a way to help his friend, and they tried different systems, or then they show other people built off of that idea, came up with better ideas, and kind of tells in a very simple way how the zipper came about and how paper came about. You know, in some parts of the world they tried this, and then they tried this, and building off of other ideas until we came to this. How the piano works and the story with that. So yeah, this is a really interesting story book. I like this one. Lots of different short stories and nice pictures. And then there's one that I really like that I couldn't find. What was it? It was another lift to flap book. It was about how machines work, and that one's really cool because it goes into the very basics of how like hydraulics work, or how do you build a really big crane so that you can build big buildings, and they show how it stretches up and then you put in this piece, and there's different flaps and things to kind of show you how things go together or what's inside of them. And it's really good basic knowledge, I think, to understand those kind of things. And I learned a lot too. There's a lot of things where I wouldn't have known how to explain it or how to describe what's inside or how that works, and this you can just open it up and see. And so that one is really good too. Thorn and Bean really like that one. And then, okay, this is the last one. This one, very good for older kids, obviously through high school and adults. It's not too dry. It's broken down in lots of tips, but each one is only like a page or 2 long. And then it gets more complicated as it goes along. So the first few pages, you could talk about them with younger kids, the really basic concept of saving and how money works. And then you get into more really important information that you'd want to know starting out on your own about like insurance and how, you know, what does it do? Is it worth it? Even for teenagers, like avoiding flashy ads, or don't let yourself get emotionally sucked into making purchases you shouldn't be making. Just to think about what you do before you spend it, or different tips like count your receipts and your money at the end of the day versus waiting for weeks on end, so that you can tell right away if you've overspent and start making better decisions. This is only $6.99. This would be a really good book for adults, but also like a graduation present. And like I said, it's easy to read. It's very simple and easy to read, and broken up where you could just read a few pages at a time and get tons of great information, not too wordy. So yeah, I really recommend this book too. And we have lots more books, but I see that I'm already at almost half an hour, so I'm going to stop. I'm sorry it was so long. But I hope that gives you an idea of what's inside some of the books, and feel free to ask me if you have any more questions on any of the books.